Russia's military. Arriving in Kobani as Russia and Turkey reach a deal for control of the Syrian border following the departure of U.S. forces. Washington announcing its own deal with Turkey is now permanent.
I do believe it will be permanent. I've therefore instructed the Secretary of the Treasury to lift all sanctions imposed on October 14th in response to Turkey's original offensive moves against the Kurds in Syria's northeast border region. So the sanctions will be lifted unless something happens that we're not happy with.
Trump said a small number of U.S. troops would remain in the region to protect oil. But over the long term, U.S. policy is still being worked out, said a top State Department official at a congressional hearing.
If those troops are withdrawn fully, a very important tool we had to keep ISIS under control will be gone.
Trump's decision early this month to unexpectedly withdraw troops sparked alarm among lawmakers on both sides of the aisle.
This decision was a body blow to our national security. President Trump has handed a gift to America's enemies, ISIS, Russia, and Iran. Coalition efforts to fight ISIS began under the Obama administration, and it had made a lot of progress. We had reclaimed territory and put thousands of ISIS fighters in prisons.
Lawmakers hoping some residual force in Syria will remain.
I'm worried that a full withdrawal will create space for ISIS to regroup, grow, and gain more strength.
Even as the situation for the United States' Kurdish allies remains uncertain.
What kind of signal does it send to the international community that the United States will turn our back on our allies who suffered so much?
If Turkey fails to abide by the ceasefire, Trump still has options using an executive order.
And that executive order is aimed at anybody who challenges the peace, stability, security, or the territorial integrity of Syria or the political process to try to find an outcome of the civil war. That is a very, very powerful administration tool, and this administration is ready to use it again.
But Congress's options to counter the White House are limited.
What can a Congress do when the president in the executive branch has so much authority to determine the shape and the pace of U.S. troop withdrawals, and also to set foreign policy in his own terms? There's things that Congress can do in terms of funding and cutting funding and using that as leverage. But it's extremely hard.
Several pieces of pending congressional legislation would deny U.S. military assistance to Turkey and assist Kurdish allies with visas. Katherine Gypson, VOA News, Capitol Hill.